God has given us each a gift. It has taken me a long time to realize my gift. I was told once that if you see something that needs to be done and you can do it, then that is your gift. Our feelings, yours and mine, may be different concerning the Vietnam War. Some of you may only remember Vietnam from your studying about it in school. Some may have sent loved ones off to fight, or you may have been one sent to fight. Whichever your memories, they may be very emotional. Frank and I have a friend. Well, actually, we have more than one friend that served in Vietnam. Many men and women came home and tried to start a normal life. One of our friends did just that until many years later, and some life situations brought on post-traumatic syndrome disorder, PTSD, to his life. He was debilitated to a non-functioning human being. A doctor at the VA hospital suggested that he write a memoir about his time in Vietnam, which he started to do. Frank would call him and encourage him to write. On one such phone call, our friend told us that he did not have the space to write because a family member and 2 children had moved into their house. We invited him to our house for 2 weeks to write, which he did. On the weekends, I would come home from work, and we, the 3 of us, would go to the Spock's house for dinner. Claudia and Kim met our friend and learned of his Vietnam story and his PTSD. After our friend went home, Claudia said to me, we should do something to thank him for his service. We decided to make him a quilt because we both enjoyed quilting. It seemed like a good idea. Frank and I delivered that quilt to our friend in person on May 10th, 2011. It was a very emotional time. Upon our return home, Claudia and I talked about other friends and family that had served in Vietnam, and so the Virgindia quilters were born. We celebrate May 10th as our birthday. Claudia and I have made 844 quilts for Vietnam veterans. We have delivered or sent a quilt to all 50 states and some to Canada. When we send a quilt, we send a letter explaining why we are making these quilts. The letter says, you have just received a package which contains a quilt of honor. The quilt group named Virgindia is simply 2 women named Virginia and Claudia, who were young women at the time of Vietnam. We have watched you men and women fight for our country and then be treated with scorn when you came home. We have never known what we could do. During the year 2010, we decided we would make quilts and then send them to you as our thank you for serving in Vietnam. We try to make every quilt different in some way from the others that we have made. When you receive a quilt, it is a unique and not a copy. What we would like in return is for you to send us a name of another Vietnam veteran. We will not give your name or those names you give us to anyone. We received your name from someone who either served with you or knows you somehow. Our hope is that we will continue to do this and to reach as many veterans as we can who would enjoy our quilts. We have received hundreds of letters thanking us for the Quilt of Honor and letting us know that often it is the first time in their lives that they have been thanked. When we reached 500 quilts, we considered stopping. The very next day, Claudia and I were thinking about quitting. We both received letters from 2 different men telling us to continue making quilts because we were doing the Lord's work. How could we quit at that point? We are thanking our veterans that came home to a country that spit on them, neglected them, and called them names and refused to hire them. Even some of our own families did not appreciate what their sons and daughters had done for their country. Claudia and I will continue to make quilts for our Vietnam veterans as long as we are able, and in God's name we will do this. What might your gift be?